Welcome to the Breaking Views. I'm Arjun Bhagat, and today we're not talking about the political or the social. We're talking about the nude. We're talking about nude paintings by this very talented writer and, of course, painter as well. But we all know him as an investigative, a hardcore investigative reporter, Mihir Srivastava, and he has amazing talents, and he's coming out with this book called Conversations in the Nude, and HarperCollins will be taking it out. It is going to be a fantastic book. It's going to be a controversial book, and what the book is about, well, we've got Mihir with us. Welcome to Breaking Views. Mihir, tell us a little bit about this book. Sounds very controversial.
I don't see any controversy in it. To me, nudity is assertion of self, and if one asserts oneself in a democratic society, there shouldn't be any problem. To me, it all started with me finding a French couple somewhere under some certain circumstances, and they volunteered to pose for me. And they were in Delhi for 2 months, and I sketched them over a period of time. And when they left, I didn't miss them, but I missed sketching. And so I had to devise a way of asking people to pose.
So essentially what you're saying is you miss the nude sketching.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder why that doesn't happen with me, nude, well, not a nude couple, a French couple comes and says, we want to pose for you. Well, for one, I don't sketch, but of course, tell us.
So it's very interesting. Now what happened was, I have a bad habit of saying my own stories and my own experiences and interesting.
But that's what your book is about.
Yes. So basically, now what happened was, initially it was just this sadistic pleasure of convincing people to pose nude, and I said, wow, well done, you can ask people to pose in naked. But then over a period of time, the experience became much more nuanced. And to me, now after having sketched 150 individuals.
So let me just ask you this, Mihir, and also people who are watching us. We're not just talking about French couples, right? We're talking about conservative Indian society. We're talking about people from all walks of life. We're talking about housewives. We're talking about pehlwans. We're talking about all sorts of people. So tell us about that. Was it? We're not that conservative as a society, are we?
In fact, my experience with sketching 150 people from all walks of life, Indian, abroad, men, women, group, couple, is that there is no stereotype. And as far as India being conservative is concerned, I have serious differences. We are conservative in public space, but when it comes to a closed room and when anonymity is ensured, we are as radical as anybody can be. In fact, there is no stereotype. There is no stereotype across nationalities, across gender, across sexuality. I have had a fairly consistent ratio. If I ask 3 people, on a ratio 1 agree to pose, and this ratio I have maintained across sexes, ages, gender, groups, whatsoever. So I don't think there is any stereotype, and the conservative issue as far as it's concerned is always, it has been, in my experience, a public facade. When you deal with people one-on-one in a closed room, then things change.
And so apart from the sketching, the nudity, what's the book about? Because it is a book which has sketches. As we are seeing,
nudity is the starting point. It's not the end. It's the ticket to enter into that very interesting space where people are not programmed. We as a society operate in a way that we are prepared for every situation. But here, suddenly you strip and you pose, and and when I sketch, I say, well, I'm not going to ignore the fact that you're naked. In fact, I'm going to stare at you and I'm going to make drawings. And in that space, people are very perturbed, and they're vulnerable.
But they keep coming back to you for being sketched.
Yeah, for the simple reason that if you in that state of vulnerability, if they exist in that state of vulnerability, they realize they aren't, and that is a very empowering experience.
So what you're saying is that wearing clothes is actually a put on. You actually what are you trying to do? Are you trying to mask your personality? What's been your experience in that?
My experience is very
or your belief.
I won't say it's my belief. I will say this is what I have observed over a period of time sketching people in nude, is that the fact that we all project. Clothes are the most potent instrument to project, and when you aren't wearing clothes, you don't project. So people are face to face with their own reality in a closed space where they can't ignore. And my suggestion to them is to forget the fact that they are naked, enter into a space where they forget the fact that they are naked, and like they don't remember that they're dressed. And when that happens, it's a very interesting thing is that this feeling of empowerment and this whole feeling that this is what I am, deal with me the way I am, you know.
So tell me, are you afraid about this book getting into some sort of a controversy? We've seen Penguin backing off about the book Hindus and saying, okay, we are going to destroy all those copies. I mean, is there a distinction between you're talking about nudity, what about the sex part?
Well, I mean, of course, there is an element of sexuality in the whole exercise. I mean, otherwise it won't be interesting. But having said that, in terms of me being afraid, I think nudity has taught me that be what you are, and if you have something to say, then there is no editing. You know, this is what I have to say. You might agree, you might not agree, you might hate it. That's entirely your point.
So that's the experience that people will get from reading your book, right? So why should somebody go and buy this book of yours, Conversations in the Nude?
You know, as far as my writing experience is concerned, I feel that a book or any article for that matter will do well if you as a writer are excited to write about it. And I should be able to transfer that excitement to the readers. And having said that, I also feel that you know, this hypocrisy of the setup or the social setup that we exist in has to, I mean, to me it is stifling sometimes. So I just want to assert that I have a story to tell, and I feel it's an interesting story to tell, and that's it, full stop. And I think to the extent that my publishers have felt that it's an interesting story to tell, I feel the readers would find it best.
Right, Mihir, thanks a lot. Let's hope your book does fantastically. Conversations in the Nude by Mihir Srivastava. The book is going to be out very soon, and of course this is Mihir's first interview about his lovely book. All right, that's all from me on Breaking Views. Arjun Bhagat signing off. That's all from me, Arjun Bhagat, for the Breaking Views. Later, amigos.